All right, Coach Trana, you're back in Sweden, back with the Griffins again. What made you decide to come back?
Well, I tell you, two things weighed heavy on my mind when we left last year. The board here does such a great job and has a great vision for the team, and not just the board, but the people around the board, people that help us out. There's a lot of great enthusiasm, and the team is going the right way. And you get attached to the players. The players had great attitudes, even though we had one win losses wasn't good for us last year. They had great attitudes. They understood my plan for the off season. We executed mostly on that plan, and I'm just excited to be back. And Malmo's a great city anyway, and I feel really welcome here.
So you got a lot of changes in your roster this year. So how do you feel the team coming together, and with all the additions, how do you feel it coming together as a team for the season?
The biggest thing for us is not only the new guys we added, but the guys that we had are worked really hard in the off season. They understand what the Super Series is now, and the competition level is very high. And a lot of our guys took that to heart, and they really developed themselves. So it's a mixture of new guys and old guys, and they're mixing together really well, and they're very competitive at practice, and that's the biggest change we've had so far. Is just the attitude of practice. People are there, they're excited. We're getting a lot more done this year than we did last year. So the additions have been just outstanding for us.
But it's not only the players that change. You've upgraded your coaching staff significantly compared to last season. What's that going to mean this season?
Oh, that's huge. It's so underestimated what coaching does. But we actually have coaches for every position now. So throughout practice, these guys are getting 2 hours of instruction instead of one coach trying to coach an entire side of the ball. We have each position, so the individual periods are way better. The team periods are corrections are being made that one coach can't see, and they're very good coaches. I have very good coaches on the staff. There's a lot of good history here. They understand the other teams we're playing, which is a huge benefit for us too. So I'm ecstatic about having the staff. That's almost more important than all the players we got for us this year.
So last year there was a lot of talk about the Super Series being quite an uneven league. Obviously, you weren't happy with the Griffins' results last year. You're looking to change that. But if you look across the league, what's your expectation in terms of how even it's going to be this year?
It's a tough league. Every team in this league is good. There's not one team that you can go, oh yeah, it's going to be a walk in the park. Every team is good, but there's a lot of movement in the off season. Guys retire, guys move teams, other imports come in. So from year to year, the power team can change. Now Karlstad has been dominant team, hands down. So they are still a dominant team. But for everybody, there's a change, and I don't see a huge fall off like there was in the discrepancies of the scores like there was last year. I think from number 2 to number 6 for the playoff spots is going to be a very tight race, and it's going to come down to head tiebreakers for those positions.
And there have been some changes in the league. Obviously, unfortunately, the Jets dropped out, but the season opener you have against Västerås, who's a new team in the league, so they're kind of in the Griffins role this year. Obviously, where you haven't played them, what are your thoughts?
They've brought in a lot of good players. They did a good job of recruiting. They brought in some very good imports. We expect them to be ready to play. We're really concerned about ourselves at this point. Going into that first game, we want to be the best team we can be, and our practices are designed that way. Our practices are very competitive. What we see from them, it's hard to tell because the coaches might change things up. So that first game is always hard when you don't have film on guys. So what we're doing is we're focusing on us, and then looking at the imports and the kind of players that they have, and we go from there.
Right, and just as last year, we have Predators in the same division as the Griffins, so local rivalry is going to be exciting as always. But this year it's also the Black Knights in the division. How do you see the competitiveness and the outcome of the division itself?
The Black Knights were in the championship game last year. They're a good team. The Predators were in the playoffs, so we have a very competitive conference, and I'm looking forward to it. I like playing teams twice. Unfortunately, we're back to back with the Black Knights, which is not a great schedule, but that's okay. They're both quality programs. We're we're very focused on winning those games for us in this off season, and a lot of things we've done is to put us in a position where we win those games to start out our season, because we definitely want to win our conference. That's a priority for us this year.
So you talked a little bit about Karlstad being a dominant team, and obviously they've done great job last 5 seasons winning. But now it's a new, fresh year. Things change. Who do you see your biggest competition of this year?
Like I said, it's such a tight division. I mean, really, you look at Germany and Austria being the top European leagues. I think Sweden has a say for their number 2. Because they have that many quality players, that many quality coaches, that many quality teams in this league. So I really think from year to year, it's going to change. The power structure changes every year based on the way the players move between teams and coaches retire or move on. And so a lot of things change year from year. One football powerhouse, the Mean Machines were the powerhouse for a long time. Now I see they're fighting to get right back to the top now. So I think it's a tight league. We're focused on whoever we're going to play. Our opponent, that's all we care about. We let the records at the end of the season work themselves out. We're very, very focused one game at a time.
All right, so I hear you want to put a lot of focus on the Griffins, so let's do exactly that. If you look at the Griffins last year, first year back in the Super Series, second season in the Super Series right now, what's the biggest difference? Griffins last year, Griffins this year?
I tell you, it's attitude by far. Our attitude last year going into that first game, most of the guys had never played in the Super Series, had never played against competition like we were going to see, and it showed. They were a little gun shy. They weren't sure of themselves. This year going into the off season, towards the end of the season, we figured it out. We had an attitude. We could compete. Now we went to the off season. We worked our plan. The guys came out. They're flying around practice right now, and they're competitive. The guys are pushing each other to get better every practice, and we couldn't do that last year. We didn't have the depth to do it. We didn't have the lines to do it. This year, both our offense and defensive line have improved so much that we're going to rely on those guys, and they're pushing each other in practice, and that makes practicing fun, but it also makes us feel very good about our season coming up.
All right, so to wrap up the season, obviously you set some goals around what's going to happen this year. Can you say a few words about what the goals are for the Griffins this year?
I tell you, we go into every game, and as a coach, I go into every game expecting to win the game. We are going to work our tail off for each individual game, and then once the playoff starts, you kind of worry about that. I'm not a big predictor on we're going to go win a championship, that kind of thing. What we're focused on is us being the best team that we can be and being competitive and winning the games each week and not worrying about the overall record. We don't care if we win 3-0. It doesn't matter to us. We just want victories on the board because there's a lot of people that have worked their tails off to get us to this position. And I feel like we owe it to them. And the team is really coming together, and they're really buying in. The leaders of the team, they're excited, and they want to prove that they belong in this league. And that's a big thing for us, just showing the attitude and the desire for us to win every game that we play in. And we don't care where we play. We'll go play you anywhere. We'll go play you on a beach. We'll play you in the parking lot. We'll drive the 12 hours to get up north and play games there. Come down and play us. We got a great stadium. We're looking forward to playing week to week.
All right, Coach Trana, thank you very much, and good luck this season.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up, and they stay there.